more disciplines for the girls, and these are optional exercises where they can create their own elements, select their own music on floor. But there's a general key, a core of moves that must be included. This is the second of 3 tumbles generally included at a minimum.
Here the final tumble run. No major errors so far. Seconds away from a good finish, or it can all go wrong. But no, she finishes well. A little bit low in that last double back, but disguised it well as she went into a finishing position.
And it wasn't so long ago that we were amazed by females producing double back somersaults. And now we're seeing double backs, 2.5 twisters like she did there, and even finishing a floor routine, which is 1.5 minutes long, with a 3rd double tumble.
Georgana Pieva from Bulgaria. She starts her competition on the vault. Yurchenko with a full twist in it. The vault named after the great Russian Natalia Yurchenko, who still takes some beating. Even though she's finished competing now, she had such elegance that you seldom see gymnasts doing this vault any more elegantly than she did it.
I quite agree. Pieva making a good effort at it, slack around the knees.
Tanja Köster from East Germany.
Great components of the asymmetric bars, East Germans. Maxi Gnauk made her mark on the world in 81 and 83. Coes going well.
Pieva's vault, her first vault, 9.775. Laurie Strong scored 9.625 on the floor. The women having 2 vaults. And Pieva now has a chance to better that first one. Can be the same or different.
With the same vault, but not so well performed. I think a 9.775 will stand. Very much improved gymnast, 44th in the 87 Worlds.
Esther Ovari from Hungary. Sorry, Ovari's already gone, and this is Kirschmeier from Italy. But she's off. 0.5 away there. And that's exactly the sort of thing that you don't want to happen on your first piece in the all-around competition. The luck of the draw gave her the beam to start on, and it's the toughest piece without question. Everything flowing at the start, and you're nervous, you're wanting to get into something explosive, and you've got to control it so much on the beam.
Kirschmeier joined the Italian team at the Europeans. That was her first major championship earlier this year. Another wobble for her. The wobbles and the fall don't seem to be affecting her general work. She's very positive and aggressive about the way she's going for her movements. She's not losing any of her elegance. Just obviously technical errors. Good double back dismount.
Kirster's A-bar score, 9.55. And there the fall. Trying, but I think she knew from the moment she landed that she was off. All these red and green leotards, very confusing. The Bulgarians, the Hungarians and the Italians.
Astrid Hies from East Germany to floor. And of course, these Germans aren't all wearing the same leotard because this is an individual, not a team event, so they don't have to appear in the same clothing.
Under the old system of scoring, where you carried through your marks from the team competition, Astrid Hies would be leading this division. She was the top qualifier, 21st place. So what she will certainly be intent on doing is leading it at the end of the comp as well as at the beginning, even though she starts with a basic 0 like everybody else.
Both tumbles containing twisting somersaults. There's a third twisting element, and this really isn't what the judges want. They want variety. Some somersaulting, some twisting, and if possible, the combination of the two, twisting and somersaulting.
But it has been a feature of the East Germans' work in these championships. A young team rebuilding, and they all seem much happier twisting a double twist there to finish with than they are double somersaulting. And we're not used to that, are we, Monica?
No, we're not, and Hies really is the most experienced of them all. It must be that she's had some kind of an ankle injury or possibly a stress to prevent her from double somersaulting.
Vault, this is Giulia Volpi of Italy.
And that is called a quervo. It's a handspring exit, a half twist from the top of the apparatus, and then a back somersault from the hands. Actually, a back 1.5 somersault from the hands.
Kirschmeyer's beam score, 9.125.
Budanacharova to the asymmetric bars. Tall, elegant gymnast. Only joined the Bulgarian international squad at the Europeans this year. And for a tall girl, that was an awful lot of movement. That was a double back somersault with a full twist in the first somersault, commonly called a full in, back out. There it is, the full twist and a piped somersault on the end. Very difficult. Only 250 centimeters from the top bar to the floor.
Well, I'm not sure who those dignitaries were, but seem intent on the action. The city of Stuttgart has put all its weight behind these championships. And we've got a judges' conference going on at the moment, which is holding things up on the beam. This happens every now and then. It's a chance for us to remind you that the judging is done by 6 judges plus a master judge. There's the master judge in the middle with the phone to her ear, and what's obviously happened here is there's been too big a discrepancy in marks between her judges. So what she's doing is asking them individually why they marked down or up what they saw that perhaps the others didn't see. And in the end she will make sure that she's got some consistency between them, because that's vital, especially at the early stage of the competition. You've got to set that mark to keep the consistency going throughout the competition, Monica. It's sometimes very difficult, isn't it?
Oh, it is. From my little experience of judging, I know that if you don't get your concept right from the very beginning, you're trying to shift around and mark in relationship to other judges and not on what you see. And that really can cause the panel to go completely to pot as the competition accelerates.
and all a little bit disconcerting for the gymnasts hanging around waiting to go. That's Giulia Volpi on vault, but if they stick to the order that's set, it'll be little Kristina Kovac on beam who will go first. Vornicharova on the asymmetric bar scored 9.7. Got the reward for all that movement. And Volpi's score has come up now as well for her first vault. 9.6. And we're going to her. Can she improve on that with her second vault?
Certainly was rather ragged. She looks as though she's carrying an injury. Just scraped into the top 36 in 36th place. Deteriorating from her 87 standing of 27. That looked a bit more in control. Walking a little bit uneasily on an injured ankle, I would say.
And there's little Kristina Kovac from Hungary. Tiny little gymnast. And she's got this nasty start. But a lovely layout back to mount. Monica, those little split leaps, they don't look particularly difficult, but they really are on beam, aren't they?
No, they're very nice. You know, you can miss the beam. It's not very nice to sit on it instead of landing on the feet. In coaching young children, they much prefer to go for cartwheels and flick-flacks than a jolly good sprint along the beam into a high leap.
145 centimeters. Comes from Becca Schaber.
She's a bit of new blood in the Hungarian team, John, and she's very, very positive. I've seen her in the team championship making few errors and really attacking her gymnastics, lacking a little bit in mobility, but certainly powerful.
15-year-old like Henrietta Ranodi. So they've got some talent coming through. Double pike back finish, and she really whipped round on that. Astrid Heather scored 9.512 for her floor. Not the most confident of starts for her, that reflecting the lack of double somersaults. As we see again, Kristina Kovac's double pike back.
Alicia Fernandez from Spain. One of the most improved gymnasts in this round. She was 98th in the 87 World Championships, and she came in at 23rd this time. That really is amazing progress. The Spaniards have done so well. Music very well selected for Alicia. Final tumble, and she doesn't even look as though she's breathing deeply. Extremely fit. Double back, well landed. Jolly routine there, John. Lovely musical interpretation. Kovac's beam score, 9.712.
The whip back, double flick, and double tuck finish. Good stuff. And this, the final tumble. And plenty of height there left in the double back. We'll wait for Fernandez's score in the next round. We'll give you it when we come back. But the leaders prior to her score coming up after one piece of apparatus, Eva Rueda from Spain with 9.912 for her vault. Milena Mavrodieva also on vault second, and Gergana Pieva 9.775 also on vault third. So the first three girls in the order at the moment all performed on vault first. But now we'll take a break. We'll be back. Welcome back. Well, Fernandez's floor score 9.725, which takes her into fourth place. The girls still warming up for the second rotation. And there the vault on that piece of apparatus in this second round. Laurie Strong from Canada. Well, she'll be first to go. Astrid Hisa second. Astrid Hisa won't be too pleased with her start, Monica. She's dropped right down to third from bottom after that floor exercise.
Yes, she really was lacking variety tremendously, and she would lose heftily for that.
On the asymmetric bars then, we've got, again, just four girls. Eva Rueda from Spain, Gergana Pieva from Bulgaria, Julia Volpi from Italy, and Milena Mavrodieva from Bulgaria. On beam, Monique Allen from Australia, Tanya Kirster from East Germany, Delyana Vodanicharova from Bulgaria, and from the People's Republic of Korea, North Korea, Kim Myung-hwa.
And in picture, that's Eva Rueda, the leader in the competition so far. Just getting the right consistency of chalk, magnesium carbonate, onto her handguards, while Laurie Strong waits to vault.
Laurie Strong from Canada, 10th place, but remember we've still got 20 gymnasts to come in the second division of this final, so these positions a little bit false at the moment. Nice vault.
Yes, matches her surname. It was a strong vault. Plenty of rotation, plenty of height. Yurchenko, preceded by the round off or the Arab Spring, half a somersault onto the hands, 1.5 from the hands, and a full twist in the middle.
And we'll see a huge number of those vaults, I'm sure, before the evening's out. Tremendous interest even in this first session, which is really the second division. 5,000 people here already, and that's going to swell to capacity by the second session, I'm sure. Eva Rueda onto asymmetric bars.
Nice high Jaeger. Rueda, extremely strong gymnast. I've watched her train, and she is a diligent, hard worker. Not very talented. She really is a grafter. It's nothing for her to go through 10 or 15 beam exercises in a session without being asked by her coach.
And that a tremendous start by her. I mean, 9.912 on your first piece. And a lovely exercise again. The Spaniards really have been one of the success stories of these championships.
Yes, they certainly have. That double whip to finish. Yes, as I said earlier, Eva 56th in the 87 Rotterdam World Championships. Tremendous progress.
Laurie Strong. Her first vault, 9.812, so she's safe. She knows she's got a good score, whatever. And she can really put everything into this one. Go for broke.
Clean vault, a little bit short on the flight off, lots of lift, and the judges really probably would like more length to put it into the 9.9s.
Monique Allen from Sydney, Australia, and her mother's made the long trip over to watch her. Monique scored 9.637 for her isometric bars in the first round. 17 years old.
Extremely elegant girl. Beautiful technique on all of her tumbles.
And Monique, by far the most experienced of the Australian team. She led them to finish 16th overall, which is the best ever performance for them. She was 23rd in the 83 World Championships, 17th in 85, 18th in 87.
Really immaculate style. Could just do with being a little bit more up tempo, because it's nice to have variety in rhythm and tempo and speed. At the moment it's a little bit monotonous and she'll get penalized for that. But beautiful quality of work.
And there her mother in the crowd cheering her daughter on. The two women in Monique's life, her mother and Juping, the coach, who's done so much for Australian gymnastics.
Hungary's Esther Avari to floor. Oh, and that was a nice high, well-finished tumble. She really is coping with her tumbling so well. Nice contrast of rhythm and style here to the music.
Last week. She comes from Budapest.
Yes, nice clean routine there from Avari. And Rueda's asymmetric bar score, 9.787.
Am Viersprung sehen Sie aus der Deutschen Demokratischen Republik Astrid.
There, the full-in back-out opener.
Astrid Hies, after a very weak floor, now on to vault, but if the leg is the problem, then this might not be too good either. A reasonable high tariff, 9.8 for a handspring front 1.5. That's the maximum she can score, and she performed it quite well.
The front approach, 1.5 somersaults, because you start upside down off the horse. Gagana Pieva from Bulgaria.
Delchev actually first performed on the high bar by Stoyan Delchev, Bulgarian. Oh, lost the legs on that full twisting giant. She was lucky to be able to get the double back away on the end. Good presence of mind there.
Started with a 9.775 on vault.
Piece's second vault, 9.712 for the first. She has the choice here of repeating the first vault or putting a half twist on. She chose to repeat it. Better vault.
Savari scored 9.737 for her floor. Laurie Strong's vault score 9.862. That second vault just 0.05 better. Onto beam and off beam again. Tanja Köster from East Germany. That's 0.5 away. So disconcerting when that happens on your mount. She's still got a minute to go in this exercise, and she's got to somehow put all that behind her.
Gainer straight back, called a gainer because the free leg initiates the hips so that the body moves forwards. That actually spotted, but the idea is to make the somersault move forwards to gain it.
Double twisting back to finish with, but remember the fall right at the beginning, so she's only being marked out of 9.5. Monique Allen from Australia scoring 9.575 for that beam exercise. And that's where Köster's routine went all wrong.
Pieva's asymmetric bar score 9.612. Roberta Kirschmeier. It's the introduction of her floor music.
Double pint back landed very well indeed. She left it late going into it, but then really whipped it round. Final tumbling run. And she'll feel much, much happier about that. Lovely floor exercise from her, and a dazzling smile tells everything. She started on the beam, remember, and 9.125 only on that because she fell. But the 15-year-old from Trieste going through a lovely floor exercise, and she settled into the competition much happier, I'm sure.
Little Alicia Fernandez from Spain. Oh dear, she did such a lovely floor exercise. Handspring front 1.5, sat down. A little bit shy about that, but she's got another chance, so she could land it the second time round.
Yes, she just kept going forwards. That was her problem. She got plenty of speed, but instead of getting a lot of thrust off the top of the horse, she just carried on rotating forwards. Giulia Volpi on the parallel bars.
Nice combination. That was a Stalder through handstand into a Delchev. Working well on both bars. giant circle, a little bit heavy on the top of the bar, without a release and catch move, so not looking for a really high 9, but a good routine from Volpi. I forgot about her Delchev.
Alicia Fernandez, she scored 9.2 for that first vault. Come on, stick it. That's better.
She really has a peculiar little action from the top of the horse. Generally, the legs are straighter before going into the tuck, and she tucked very early. Had the desired effect, though.
Voronecharova to beam, but Kirster's score on the beam only 8.9 after that fall. It seems almost unfair, Monica. This the most difficult piece of apparatus, that 10-centimeter strip of wood, and yet the gymnasts have to stay on it longer than any other piece.
Yes, it gives them an opportunity to show as much as they can, though. And this is what competition is all about. Showing off. Oof, well held. But of course, in the learning process, the girls, first of all, do each individual exercise thoroughly on the floor, then on a beam which is only floor height, or even a bench which is twice the thickness, then on a beam a little higher which is padded, and then gradually they build up to full height and do an exercise slotting in difficulty, perhaps a flick-flack, then building it to a somersault. So the routine doesn't change a lot over the years, just the elements become more difficult.
Two twists there to finish with. Voronecharova from Bulgaria. Couple of scores. Julia Volpi, 9.587 for her A-bars. Little Fernandez, that second vault, much better, as we saw, 9.65.
Kirschmeyer's floor score, 9.662. And Kristina Kovac to floor.
Well, she landed as clean as a whistle, but unfortunately at least 6 inches outside the 12-meter area. That, I think, Monica, a case purely of the adrenaline flowing so much that she just carried it much further than she normally would.
I think she ran too far. She probably got an extra stride in her run, and she'd committed herself. Had to go then.
Being performed at 100 miles an hour and not too much control.
But pressure and competition do different things to different people, and Kovac is obviously a very powerful little tumbler, and the big event has given her more power. She really doesn't know what to do with it. But with experience, she'll learn to cope, and she'll understand that in a competition she's got that little bit more oomph.
But she was right in the corner again there. Very often the gymnasts get short on that last tumble run, but there she was right in the corner. Disappointment, but a lesson learned. Really travelled on that last one. Both feet landing way outside.
Britain's Sarah Mercer to vault. Oh, what a pity. Handspring, 1.5 somersaults pike, but she really was totally stuck. So she had to bend her knees to even get to the floor.
And this, a real ordeal for Sarah Mercer, the British girl. She's the youngest competitor of all. Not 15 until the 30th of December.
Gergana Pieva to asymmetric bars. Sorry, that's Madrod. Mavrodieva. Bulgarian girls in the same leotards, not dissimilar in appearance. Beautiful high catcher. Coming into the bottom bar, really too steep. She just didn't have a chance of holding it.
Mavrodieva, disappointment written all over her face. There's the catcher. Everything okay there.
Yes, she released from the top bar far too late and dropped so vertically that she dragged herself off the bar.
Sarah Mercer, 9.225. That's better. She's a really fiery little competitor and was determined she wasn't going to sit down on that second vault.
I really think a handspring from 1.5 is a difficult vault to judge, especially a first vault. You either give it too much and land flat on your face, or not quite enough and sit down. She got the mix right then, got to her feet.
Kim Myung-hui from North Korea, front somersault mount, landed it beautifully. The pirouette that must be in every beam exercise.
That was not a very tactical move. She obviously was meant to link the three together. She'd had her wits about her. She wouldn't have put that flick on because she showed that she had a break in her tempo. This is when the gymnast's ability to improvise matters. But of course, everything comes with experience.
The Corbett flick there. That flick-flack, but instead of landing to feet, going down to straddle the beam. Double tuck-back finish. Stayed on, a nice tight little exercise.
A look at the mount and then the dismount. Clean, smart routine. Mercer scored 9.762 for that good second vault. Now Leah Homer to floor.
Oh, and a foot out. The twisting double back.
Leah, a newcomer to the Canadian squad this year. She's had experience in the international field against the Bulgarians and the Romanians, coming third in both championships, but this her first major championship. Going very well indeed. Final tumble. Double back pike with a good landing.
Leah Homer from Canada, the last to go on the second rotation. They're now halfway through the competition. just catch up on some scores. Voronecharova scored 9.55 on that beam. Kovac's floor 9.087. Kim Myung-hwa 9.587 for her beam. And Mavrodieva 9.2 for those asymmetric bars. We're just waiting for Leah Homer, her score to come up, but Monica at the moment, very much a competition going well for the Spaniards in particular.
Yes, Eva Rueda is really doing well, very, very strong. And then Alicia Fernandez up in 4th place.
Two of them up there. Laurie Strong from Canada in 2nd place at the moment. Rueda 19.699, Laurie Strong 19.487. Monique Allen from Australia in 9th place. And little Sarah Mercer from Great Britain doing incredibly well. The youngest girl there in 5th place at the moment. She must be pleased with that, Monica.
Excellent performance from her. Yeah, she'll be really delighted with having made the top 36. So
halfway through the competition, Eva Rueda from Spain, remember, in the lead at the moment. 2 pieces of apparatus to go. We've got to leave you now, but make sure you rejoin us in an hour when Division 1 will come in, and that will decide the women's individual all-round championship of the world. After 3 rounds, Eva Rueda from Spain finishing on floor. So she's had the advantage of competing in the Olympic order, starting with vault, finishing on floor.
And Rueda, a very powerful floor worker, 5th in this year's European in Brussels. And that's a tremendous feat for her. Eva has always had the natural power, but she's had to work very hard on the dance and the balletic influence in the floor routine. And when it doesn't come naturally, that's really hard graft.
I think Eva will be one gymnast who's pleased with this new competition format, because she must have hoped to finish higher than 22nd in qualifying for this competition. She scored 9.3 though on floor in the voluntary section of the qualifiers. Mistakes there. This time though, she's getting it right, and she starts on an even keel with everybody else, so she can move up considerably.
Yes, some really good tumbles. The last one, pike in, tuck out. She did punch front out of a double back, but the series following that wasn't as nice as she would have hoped. I could see there were little flaws, but overall, no big mistakes and very good tumbles. Yes, there's the punch front, and she just got a dead legs on the landing. She was meant to move straight out of that.
Tanja Köster from East Germany to vault. .360-degree twist off the top of the horse. Again showing the East Germans favouring twisting moves rather than somersaults.
Roberta Kirchmeier, 2 asymmetric bars. This is her last discipline of the 4. Tiny little girl, only 136 centimetres. Just a little bit taller than the smaller rather than the bottom bar. Bottom bar 150 centimetres high.
And Eva Rueda really turning it round on floor. 9.912 her score. What an improvement over the 9.3 she scored in the team section.
Tanya Kust's first vault, 9.262. The tariff of a handspring full twist is only 9.5. So that could be her maximum score. Let's see what she's going to do this time. She must be nursing an injury if she's only producing that vault, and not very well either. Very little flight from the top of the apparatus. Twisting very early.
Astrid Heath to the beam. Heath came in 21st place, but she's not really had a very good competition at all so far. 9.25, 9.512, better on vault, 9.712, but that's dropped her well down.
East German women always been in the medals up till the Worlds in 1987, but with the retirement and injury of a lot of their gymnasts, they're really struggling for strength and depth.
Double twist dismount. Kirsta scored 9.412 and Kirschmeier 9.712 for her uneven bars.
It's the flick-flack with one leg exit into, well, we call them straight backs, but they're not really. Somersaults landing on one leg.
And the final girl to go in this round, Guegana. And the final girl to go in this round, Guegana Pieva from Bulgaria. 9.775, 9.612, 9.512. She's going down in her score so far. Let's hope she can reverse it on this. Full in, back out. Opener, landed it well.
Came sixth in the European on floor. Of course, the Bulgarians have a tremendous tradition for their floor work. Good history of bronze medals at World Championships. So let's keep our fingers crossed. With such a strong rhythmic gymnastics session in Bulgaria, there's a strong influence on the dance of artistic gymnastics. And that was one of the best double backs I've seen at the end of any of the girls' floor routines. A tiny little split of the legs, but the direction of the takeoff was excellent.
So a tremendous finish for Guegana Pieva. The last girl to go in this group. These are the people who qualified in 21st to 36th position. Chance again to look at that tumbling. 3 twists, just getting round. And the leader, Eva Rueda from Spain at this stage, 39.286. Deliana Vodenicherova second, 38.825. Laurie Strong from Canada third. Sarah Mercer from Great Britain 4th, and Monique Allen from Australia 5th. But Gagana Pieva still to come, and of course the 20 top gymnasts too. We'll be back to show you them after the break. And it's the best one that counts in this competition.
Good start from Fandy. Little jump back on the landing, and she sighs about that, but otherwise a clean, tidy vault.
It's the Yurchenko straight, as you can see, and one twist there as she comes off the top of the horse. Fandy, so elegant. Just a question of whether she's got the strength.
And Iveta Polakova from Czechoslovakia starting off on the asymmetric bars. And Polakova, no mean gymnast. Oh dear, dreadful start for her.
You're putting the kiss of death on people, Monica. It's terrible the number of times one begins to enthuse about somebody and it's almost as if they hear it. I can assure you we are far enough away from the podium to have no effect on the performances.
Never mind, she has to try her hardest to forget that. Terrible for her on the first piece of apparatus. She hasn't forgotten it, and she's really fallen to pieces.
And that a tragedy, because her competition now almost completely over, because she might have recovered from one fall and still got up to a decent ranking, but that is going to be a score way down in the eights, and that is going to drop her so far down that her biggest problem now will be to pick herself up at all and get interested in the other three pieces of apparatus.
Precisely. To become interested and enthusiastic and competitive with a mark deficit is very difficult.
Fandy, her second vault, and the judges loved that first one, 9-9.
She does show beautiful shapes during her flight off the apparatus. Lovely tight posture.
Well, the landing, if anything, just a shade better. The Chinese coming in, obviously, in the right mood.
But she appears to have such a fragile frame, and yet very, very explosive from both the feet and the hands.
Onto the beam. There with the round-off mount. Barbel Vilgos from East Germany.
I've noticed that every East German has the same combination of jumps in their beam exercise. And also that tumble combination. Some perform it better than others. Barbel Vilgos, a new member to the East German team.
Great contrast in shape between Vilgos and Fandy.
And of course, the shape, the body shape of the gymnast is all important when trying to score tens. To create a beautiful line is the essence of gymnastics.
Well, the East German contingent in the crowd love it, but then they are tremendous at getting behind their gymnasts. They'll always give them a cheer. Fandy from China did better her first vault score with the second one, 9.925. But great start for her. Puts her obviously into the mood to push on from there. And Polakova, 8.475 for her disastrous overall. Olga Strajeva from the Soviet Union starting her competition on floor.
tartan floor because they haven't got emotionally involved in the competition. And sometimes they don't portray the charisma that they can do later on when they're more enthusiastic.
Huge amount of strapping around that right ankle. I wonder how much of an injury it is she's carrying. Well, it didn't seem to affect her there.
I think it's probably more preventative than trying to prevent an injury than protecting it. Off centre on that double spin, she should have walked out forwards from it. Very different choreography from Olga Strajeva, and this is what floor exercise is all about: creativity and individuality.
Vilgos's beam at 9.8. There the Arabian 1 3/4. Tandy Woolsey from the USA, 2 vault.
Yurchenko with a full twist.
17-year-old from Colorado. And the Americans always have wonderful names for their gymnastics club. Her club, the Desert Devils.
Yang Bo from China. Now this new little star is really something special. I hope to goodness that I haven't put the kiss of death on her. High, beautiful Jaeger. Just look at the beauty in the line, the strength in the back, flat back, tight tension, nice tight tuck. Slight jump forward there, John, but you've got to agree that was beautiful to watch.
It really was. The asymmetric bars, I think the Chinese favourite piece of apparatus. There, the lovely Jaeger, and that swung properly, not cheated, not spinning while just dropping. She swung into it. As she waits, Strajeva sees that she scored 9.962 and Woolsey scored 9.912. Tandy Woolsey for her first vault. Here comes the second. Can she improve on it?
Beautiful landing, lovely vault. Just a slight slackness I detected around the knees. But dynamically, it was perfect. Nice light contact on the top of the horse. See, she's hardly on there any time at all, and really thrusts off. Arms tidy in the twist. Stuck a beautiful landing.
9.875 for Yang Bo. And Natalia Lashonova starts her competition on the beam. Attacks that front somersault mount.
And this is the girl who tumbles on the beam. She doesn't do tumbles different because she's on a beam. That is a flick straight back.
As we were saying earlier, we sometimes talk about straight backs, and that is the only one that really is a straight back that we see.
Yes, the only one in the world. Couple of times Lashonova has just moved the shoulders and tipped slightly to the side. Almost lack of self-belief rather than a wobble.
Probably the greatest tumbler in the world at the moment in women's gymnastics. There, no problems at all. Off the end of the beam with the full twisting double back.
Oh, no pussyfooting around for Lashanova. She is so bold. I mean, the beam's only 10 centimetres wide, and she goes along with 2 feet together. There's, you know, no cheating, no walking out. 2 feet to 2 feet. Flick, flick. Pull in, back out, dismount. That's splendid stuff.
And the excitement in this competition is that you get a great performer like Lashanova, followed by Daniela Silavash. On the floor, she starts her comp. Pulling back out, landed, spot on, no step back out of that. Silavash, gold medalist on floor at the Seoul Olympics. Equal first at the 87 World Championships.
I know a lot of people have said to me, don't you think Silavash has slowed down somewhat? Well, of course I do. She's grown taller. Her movements are bound to be slower. They take longer to perform. But she certainly has developed in maturity and quality of movement.
Well, that overbalance out of the final somersault. It was only small, but it was a very definite fault. The 19-year-old from Deva getting into her competition with floor, probably not ideal for her, but a lovely exercise. She's changed it totally for these championships.
And there have been a lot of scathing reports in the press about tiny little girls producing tricks. Well, here is Daniela Silavash, a woman producing the tricks, and she does it very, very well indeed.
That lovely run, punching out of the twist and going on another run. And now we can see that final somersault and see how she nearly overbalanced. Lashanova scored 9.875 for her beam. This, Larissa Loeing. Well, that really was short. Struggled all the way through that vault. The Canadian girl, Larissa Loeing, never got that timing right at all, Monica.
No, she must have got a cast from the board. She did. Hands on the front edge of the horse. She was really lucky not to come a cropper on that. Miho Shinoda from Japan to the asymmetric bars. Japanese back on the road to progress and success.
There, the Jaeger. You see how much lower that one was? Really sort of spun as she dropped. Giant straddles it at the bottom, comes into the back summer dismount. Overdoes it, Shea.
She really was in trouble on that dismount. She took it too steep. And she began to pull in the pike and then had to open it again to land safely.
Larissa Loeing, second vault, 9.862 for her first. And that really is... Well, if the first one was worth 9.862, what's that worth?
rather silly, really, because when she cast and twisted the shoulders on the first vault, it set the whole vault crooked. The dynamics of the vault was really wrong.
Chen Quiting. The head spring onto the beam.
Although that had a one-legged exit, it certainly was a nice high somersault, the nearest I've seen to Larshanova's. Quiting and Larshanova very similar in body shape, and therefore produce similar types of skills. That's magnificent. She is the only person in the world who performs it. I think she's the only one who dares. It's a very, what we call a bottly movement. Frightened me to death coaching it, because if the gymnast doesn't have the commitment to go for height, then it's a head job. In other words, the head hits the beam before the hands. Oh, lovely nimble double back off the end there.
Chen Quiting then starting well. Silevash scored 9.975 for that floor. The judges kind to her on that little mistake on the end. There's that superb original move. It's the Corbett flip, but with an enormous difference. I mean, she goes right up to the stretch handstand first. Henrietta Anodi.
Hardly believe that little Henrietta is 15 years old. Not as good as she produced in warm-up, that full in, back out piked. Anodi 5th all-round in the European Championships, and she shared the bronze medal on floor with Cristina Bontash from Romania. Smashing. The rulebook says that the gymnast must cover the whole floor area. The poor little soul has really got to travel into every corner of that 12-metre square.
Yes, just 1 metre 34 tall. Three twists. Look at that. Gets round. Lovely move. Anodi there waiting. Larissa Loeing scored 9.912 for that second vault of hers. Now it's Brandy Johnson from the USA.
Brandy looking just a little bit rounded, not really lean enough for a world championship. They really should have their fat content down to almost a minimum to look the best they can. Power to weight tends to go, and Brandy's not on such good form this championship.
Quickly, a couple of scores. Shinoda, 9.737 on the A-bars, as Catherine Mermet from France goes onto the A-bars.
This is very clever. I detected 2 errors on the high bar. She obviously had to shift her hands because something went wrong. But I only detected it because I've watched her several times in warm-up. Quick thinking.
Karine Mermet Brandy Johnson's second vault, she got 9.9 for her first. I don't know where these judges are going to go when the really top vaulters get on. They've started marking very high very early.
Now that was a nice vault. That's worth 9.9.
There's the change of vault. Handspring, front. No, the half just coming in late, so it's a Cuervo, yes. Chen Quiting on beam scored 9.9, and this, Wendy Bruce from the USA.
Americans have got 3 gymnasts in the top 20. Just missed out on the bronze medal in the team championships. Nice combination there, the leap into the straight back from one leg.
And all these American girls very close to each other. Double tuck that finish. Wendy won the USA Championships trial. Won the McDonald International, was second in the Belgian Masters. A New Yorker.
And Oddy's floor got 9.837. And Johnson's vault 9.937.
This, Christina Bontash from Romania. Third equal with Anodi in the European Championships last May on this piece of apparatus in the final.
Very interesting, being lucky to be at all of the major championships, to see the progress these youngsters make. Bontash has always been a fabulous tumbler, but not always a good dancer, and that is improving year by year.
A very taxing exercise, just gathering herself there, and no wonder, what a last tumble. Putting in the whip back somersault in the middle of that last tumble, so it became 5 moves instead of 3 once she started tumbling. And Silivash, her big sister, gives her a big kiss.
It's lovely to see the senior gymnasts encourage the youngsters. Never any jealousy, always good camaraderie. Bontash's flick-flacks are so long for such a tiny girl. The flick-flack is the backward jump onto the hands. Just look at the length she gets. Almost sprints across the floor, hands and feet.
This is that last run. There's the round off, flick-flack. And still enough control to get good height on that double tuck back. And Bontash has got the first 10. Well, what excitement. Silivash knew it was good, the way she congratulated her. And Bontash is the first to set everybody's nerves tingling in this final.
Cho Byung-hui from North Korea.
Quickly, a couple of other results. Wendy Bruce on the beam, 9.862, and Mermes Abars, 9.737. Svetlana Boginskaya has to come into the competition, having just seen a 10 from the Romanians. That's like red rag to a bull, Monica.
Yes, especially to Boginskaya. She really is a competitor. She got a 10 on this routine in the team championship. And really, in my opinion, I've got quite a fair knowledge of gymnastics. She really was lacking in quantity of moves. Now she's put a full in back out on the end of that routine. She only had a double back in the first round. If the judges give her 10, they really have crucified themselves.
There the toe on, toe off as she goes round the giant. And there, that full twisting double back to finish with, landed it as she tends to a little bit untidily.
Cho's first vault, 9.875. This is her second vault. The best score counts. Another full twisting Yurchenko.
Yeah, she lacks a little bit of power, doesn't get the thrust off the top of the horse that would give her more time to get round and complete the full twist in the somersault.
Gabriela Potorak to beam. Remember this little girl with the shiny haircut, the bob, in the Olympics. Now she's grown up, grown the hair, looks much more womanly.
One beam at the European Championships in the individual apparatus finals. Got a bronze in the Olympic Games.
Applause from the audience, appreciating just how difficult it is to pirouette on a beam. It's bad enough on the floor, but on the beam and in a World Championships, very difficult.
And that really is a stuck landing. No movement at all. Didn't have to compensate for any lateral movement. Lovely to see. And she's beginning to look so elegant as she gets a bit taller and develops.
And she really has a lovely blend of difficulty and quality. That was smashing. Really, really smashing.
Boginskaya didn't get the 10. 9.95 for asymmetric bars. And that for an exercise that was more difficult than the one she performed in the first round. And she performed the first one a little bit raggedly. Cho's second vault, 9.887, so that's the one that counts.
And this is really somebody to watch. Kim Gwang-suk from North Korea, a brilliant little tumbler. Really stole the hearts of the crowds in the team championships.
exercise there from little Kim Gwang-suk from North Korea. The North Koreans obviously have developed their gymnastics program enormously. They've certainly got people to watch in men's and women's gymnastics. The whip, flick, flick, double tuck back finish. Well, at the end of the first round, it's very definitely on points to the Romanians. They've gone 1, 2, 3 there. Christina Bontash with that perfect 10. First, Gabriela Potorak. Second, Daniela Silivash, third. And the first Russian, Olga Strajeva, in fourth place. We'll take a break there, but we'll be back with round 2 in just a moment. Welcome back to the Hans-Martin Schleierhalle here in Stuttgart, the women's all-round individual championships. You're watching Eurosport. The end of the first round, the Romanians have really thrown down the gauntlet. Christina Bontash getting a perfect 10. Gabriela Potorak getting 9.987, and Daniela Silivash getting 9.975 to take the first 3 places. Olga Strajeva is 4th at the moment. Voginskia is right down in 6th. And Lashonova so far down. In fact, on our computer scores, I can't even tell where she is, because they put all the other gymnasts from the first division above these people because they've only done 1 division. There's Christina Bontash, leader at the moment. She goes to vault there, as you can see. Monica, first blood to the Romanians. Do you think that's significant or not?
Not at this stage, because I think that the margin between the first and the 10th gymnast is only hundredths of a point. So it almost gives a false impression, but it's good to see the Romanians come out and start 1, 2, 3.
Christina Bontash and Daniela Silivash in the same group, and the order onto the apparatus rotates, so there's no advantage. Where they started was also drawn by lots, so they make it as equal as possible. Silivash on vault.
And that was a very high flight off. From the angle that the cameraman showed it, it wasn't too apparent, but from the time lag, from when her hands came off the apparatus to when her feet contacted it, showed the immense flight off.
Much better angle to see it there. Lots of time to hold that position. She could land it perfectly. She wouldn't need that little step back. Sandy Woolsey of the USA. Her coach just putting in the Reuter board and then pulling it out as soon as she's onto the apparatus so it doesn't distract her. He goes in now just to check on the catcher. You know that's coming the moment they walk in.
Nice Hecht half turn to catch the high bar. Most people have problems with it in the compulsory exercise. They don't choose to include it in their voluntary exercise too. A very tricky element. Full twist on the top bar from the giant, straight into the double back. Combining the difficulties is the skill of the game.
Nice smooth transition. She did keep a good rhythm all the way through that exercise. Silivash, her second vault, she's got 9.925 for that first one. Now, can she hold the landing on this second one?
That's what she needs, and a little bit more stretch around the knees. She's often slack. Extension, no, not as good as the first one. Slammed it back from the board, parted the legs.
I think exactly as you said, Monica, she was going for the more stretch in the knees to show a little bit of a better shape and make sure there was no slackness there. And pushed it too hard and actually lost it and couldn't control it. Woolsey's A-bars, 9.85. Yang Bo onto beam.
Haven't seen that since the days of Olga Korbut when she did her chin stand. That was back in the 1974 Olympic Games.
Started on A-bars with a 9.875. Oh, wonderful move. The Shushinova now put on the end of a combination.
Well, Shushinova struggled with it as an individual move, but she lifted that on the third skill. That is brilliant.
Oh, and what a pity. All the extra bonus and the difficulty in that incredible combination, which I'm sure we'll see again in a moment in slow motion. And then she ruins it all with the big wobble, but then again, straight back into it, puts it behind her, Monica. That was a lovely combination again.
The ironical thing is that she wobbled on a little jump. She's landing all of the difficult skills, but this... Oh, nothing short of magnificent.
Well, she's going to get originality, virtuosity, risk everything for the combination.
She's got so many D elements. There it is, a full twist in the Korbut and way above the beam when she's finished the full twist. Just look at the linear movements of her tumbles. That twist, her shoulders over the beam all the way.
Monica calling it a Korbut. Korbut did it without a twist at all. Me calling it a Shushinova because Shushinova the first one to do it with a twist. We're not at odds with each other. It's just a different reference. Now, Lashanova to the floor.
The Russians have gone over the top with their choreography. All very different. Lovely double back straight there. And it really was straight.
It had to be absolutely straight and landed vertically to be able to work on out of it as she did.
What is so amazing is that she only takes a couple of steps into her tumbles. You'd think she had springs in her feet. 3 steps there.
Yeah, the men gymnasts would be proud of her because they've always complained that the women are allowed to run halfway across the floor to gain speed, and they're not. But Lashanova doesn't need it. And Yang Bo's beam score, 9.9. The minimum deduction they could give her. That's how highly they rated it. Look at that opening tumble, and then she's in such control. She can come straight out of it, flick-flack, straddle jump, little front somersault, and off she goes again into a double tuck back. And most people in the world in women's gymnastics struggling to get that. A no-D to vault.
It's amazing how such a tiny little puppet can propel herself from the horse. The horse 1.20 meters high and an OD 134.
Larissa Lewing from Canada. She's got a nice swing to her movements on the A-bars.
Yes, she has. Every movement she makes look as large as possible. That's the full extension of the body, so the feet form huge circles. That was an excellent routine. Lovely difficulty and a very even rhythm all the way through.
Lashonova, 9.987 on floor. It's hotting up there. Anodi, 9.9 for her first vault. And that's a tremendous credit to her. She is just 14 centimeters higher than the vaulting horse.
She really has to be so acrobatic and fast in her movement that she doesn't have time to show lines, because the board must be almost as heavy as her and she has to make it shift her.
Yes, the greater weight she can put on there, it barely even indented as she hit the top of it because she's so light. Miho Shinoda.
Arab Spring straight back mount.
Flick, 2 somersaults. Got to watch those combinations closely. Quite a lot of gymnasts do 2 flicks and then 1 somersault. Much more difficult to do 1 flick and 2 somersaults.
Yeah, she's just got a telltale trailing bent leg. So she could lose 3/10 on that one length. Good front, though. Handstand just short of the split. They could knock off marks for lack of amplitude. In other words, lack of total range of movement in a given skill. An excellent dismount, few little wobbles in the middle, but the routine had all of the specifications, all of the difficulties required. Will be marked out of 10. Slowing on A bars, 9.875.
As Chen Kuiting steps on to the floor. 9.9 started off with on beam, so she's well in contention.
Kuting and Fandi have a fresh look about them, hair well pulled back, just a little bit of makeup to sell their beautiful faces. It really adds to the attraction of their appearance.
Nice tight double back. So much more graceful when those legs aren't split to increase the rotation. She's 18 years old and she trains a phenomenal 6 hours a day. She's just losing her poise there on that pirouette.
These little pirouettes appear so simple, but they just aren't. She's landed the double back. She's done everything perfectly. And on that pirouette, she totally lost her balance, and they could dock her 2/10. What a shame. So beautiful.
A student from Hunan province. Little shot of Daniela Silvash, watching everything with great interest, looking at new moves, new combinations.
Excellent tumbling, feet and knees glued together. The feet were even stretched on the way round in a double back, and this is something that we don't often see.
Christina Bontash, the leader at the moment.
She really is a little powerhouse, but unfortunately she has a habitual split of the legs as she leaves the board to take off for the horse, and that really is a slow kick of the leg in the Arab Spring.
Brandy Johnson to asymmetric bars. Lovely high catch of Jaeger somersault.
And the really high scorers on the asymmetric bars have as few A moves in as possible. That's the little moves, the upstarts. Now that was an excellent routine. She only had 2 or 3 A elements in. All the rest were C's and D's, movements of the greatest difficulty.
Shinoda's beam 9.712, and Christina Bontash's first vault 9.862. She's got to get up into the 9.9s.
Double twisting Yurchenko. Nice wind up of the arms into a very fast twist, but still the parting of the legs preventing her from getting a perfect score.
It is a peculiar little quirk in her gymnastics. She seems to throw one leg faster than the other.
Karine Mehmet from France. Years old.
Four-move combination. It's unusual. Flick somersault, flick somersault. Most gymnasts can only get 3 in.
One-legged handspring, had quite a wobble after it, and then the front somersault to seat. Still a little off balance, backward roll to handstand. Tricky move to do on the beam. This is the reason why most of the gymnasts have their hair in ponytail or plaits, because in backward rolls it's very easy to make yourself a little bald in a few places. Oh dear. Bad fall there. 0.5 away, a pity. She managed to hang on in the middle when she could have easily fallen.
But her first big championship, she's just 15 years old, and this, a lovely example of the work she can produce. A 4-move travel along the beam.
America's Wendy Bruce onto floor. Gymnasts now in their second rotation.
Yes, you say just in the second rotation, but after this they're halfway through the competition, because the women only perform on 4 pieces. That makes every error even more glaring.
Floor isn't judged just for the tumbles, it's judged for the trickiness of these little transitional skills. Sometimes they take months to learn and perfect. That type of movement's just to fill in, to get them a little breath of fresh air before they go into the next tumble. Now she needs some scoring dance. Any leap with a full turn is a scoring element. Pirouettes, that's a double pirouette, that's a scoring element, with the combination of the jump on the end of it. That raises its value. Now the final tumble. 3 tumbles are needed at the minimum. plenty of variety there, but the standard of the tumbling was pretty poor. Always had her feet far too wide in the flick combinations.
Right, we better get some marks away. Christina Bontash on vault, the most important, 9.875 only, so that really nullifies that 10 on the floor. Johnson Zabars 9.925 and Chen Kui-ting on floor 9.937.
Kim Gwang-suk from Korea on vault. She really is dinky. And she's about 130 centimetres, just about eye level, that horse. And she bottles out, she can run underneath it. Arab spring onto the board. That's the backhand spring, 1.5 somersault and 1 twist in the middle.
Mermaid 9.25 for her beam. Cho Kyung-hui from North Korea onto the uneven bars.
This is what I mean about linking difficulty after difficulty. Just 2 simple moves to get from one bar to the other now. Kachev, that's called an upstart, that's an A element. Now a big element, that's a full twisting giant into the double back. Lovely high Jaeger, and the transition from the top to the bottom bar really high and immediately into a Stolder. That's a clear circle and a straddle. Bruce on floor scored 9.925.
Kim Gwang-suk, her first vault 9.812. Oh, and stuck the landing beautifully. She's never going to be able to get the flight phase looking elegant and long, but she therefore has to make sure everything else is perfect. Now, needing a big score, Svetlana Boginskaya.
And that was a very low front somersault match. She nearly gave herself a haircut.
And she's waving to the audience there too. Not a good start. .95 for her A bars.
Boginskaya always produces some very unusual shapes. It appears to me that the Russians are going out of their way to be different. And I would call this a play-safe routine. Her jumps are low. That was supposed to be 2 flicks and a somersault, and she did 3 flick-flacks. I appear to be knocking her, but we're very aware of what she can do and what she is doing. And she is going to be marked on what she is doing now, not what she does in warm-up.
Landed beautifully, though. Pulled it together at the end, but that will be a very interesting score to watch, because that was not Boginskaya, for me, anywhere near her best. There was the flick, back, and there all the waving to the crowd that was not intended. Olga Strajeva.
Gabriela Potorak to floor. Plenty of aggression into that first tumble. She needed it because she was struggling, just got to her feet. Difficult dance combinations, change leg split leaps on different legs. Trouble there, double twist into punch front, but it went wrong. tumble, landed the best. Really unfortunate, Potterack. Her opening tumble was really short. And then out of the double twist, she stuck her hips back and missed the punch front.
Now Olga Strojeva. She's vaulting in this rotation. Very neat. That's the first one to make sure that she's going to get a really high mark.
And to the asymmetric bars, China's Fan Di. Now in the voluntary section of the World Championships in 1987, Fan Di scored a 10 for a magnificent routine. They are the reasons for getting a 10 when her Jaeger, it almost goes into orbit. There she goes again. Adequate quantity and wonderful quality.
Just a tiny little step forward on landing. The rest of it, absolute bliss. Well, Boginskaya scored 9.95 for her beam routine, but to show you how people differed on it, I was looking at the scoring very closely. One judge had a 9.8 up, that's about where I'd have marked it, and another judge had a 10. They were the bottom and tops that went, and the average of the other four brought it out to 9.95. Cho Byung-hui, 9.85 on A-bars. And now we're waiting for Fan Di's score.
Having a closer look at this wonderful work, I sometimes think that the landings after such a wonderful routine are over-deducted. Strojeva's second vault.
She scored 9.962 for the first.
Very similar vault, landed with a straddled right leg. She does have problems, John, with one of those ankles.
Iveta Polakova from Czechoslovakia onto beam. She had that terrible start to her competition, 8.475 on her P-bars, and it really isn't her day.
Mind you, that's a very difficult move. It's a front somersault with a half twist. I've only seen one other gymnast produce it, and that was Lavinia Agashi from Romania. That was about 4 years ago, so not many people have copied it since then. They don't fancy doing it, neither would I.
That's the constant challenge in gymnastics. You've got to go for the difficulty, but then if you don't make it, you pay the penalty, and she cannot now score more than 9.5.
Polakova, a lovely gymnast. Czechoslovakians have always made their mark in European and World Championships, getting finalists, but never have really blossomed since the days of Vera Czeslavska, who won the gold medal at the '68 Olympics in Mexico and the '66 World Championships. Well, my heart goes out to her because the World Championship is the result of years of training, and for it all to go wrong is very disheartening.
Babel Bielgos from East Germany onto the floor. Potterack before her only scored 9.75, so the Romanians really not doing nearly so well in the second round.
treble Vulgos, triple twist to open, and an innovative middle tumble. It's similar than many we see, but instead of being straight, it was in a pike shape into the Arabian 1 3/4 roll.
The Germans trying to start a mini wave there at the end of the second round. A couple of scores that are vital. Fandy 9.95 for that A-bars, but there's the woman in the lead now. Olga Strajeva at the end of 2 rounds has overtaken the Romanians, 19.924 with 9.962. Daniela Silevash holds on to second place. Boginskaya has gone up to third, and Fandy is in fourth. We'll take another break there. They're halfway through. 2 more breathtaking rounds to come. Join us then. Welcome back. This women's individual all-round championship, living up to everything we expected. The one great thing about this new form of competition is that you don't miss anything. You do see every single exercise. Normally, we need eyes in the back of our heads. But looking at the positions at the moment, Olga Strajeva takes the lead. She's got 19.924, but you go right down to Potorak in 16th position, and she's on 19.737. That's 0.187 between first and 16th in this group. It shows you how tight it is. All the scores now into hundredths, because the judges are allowed to mark to 2 decimal points. You can go to half a tenth, as it were. They can get a 0.05 in, and that means that when you average out the 4 middle scores that count, they get hundredths very often indeed. Boginskaya, she's moved up into third place. 2 9.95s for her. And as you can see, in this rotation, she goes on the floor. Meanwhile, Daniela Silevash Silevash this time on asymmetric bars. And the leader, I thought for a moment, but it's not, it's Lashanova. She's over on vault. Strajeva with Silevash on the A-bars. First to go in this rotation, though, Chen Qiting from China.
Qiting in 8th position. Oh, lovely vault. She really was very, very casual about her run-up, because she is a very explosive gymnast. Some gymnasts have a lot of fast-twitch muscle fibre in their body, short, stocky muscles, which are very, very powerful. So she doesn't need too much cross speed, otherwise she'll fly to the back of the mat. See the lift she gets off the apparatus and the distance from not a lot of cross speed.
Yes, very slow on the run in, and you'd often think that was going to be the mark of perhaps a poor vaulter, but not so in her case.
And to the asymmetric bars, Daniela Silevash, that lovely top bar combination, endo straight into Delchev.
Well, in fact, the confusion worrying us all there, but for some reason there has been a delay on the asymmetric bars, and that was Daniela Silevash finishing off her practice. I wonder what I was seeing for a moment. She's last up on that piece, and Henrietta Anodi from Hungary is the first up. Gymnasts meant to complete their warm-up in the 3 minutes available, but on the asymmetric bars there's a lot of chalking up to do, and even in practice they like to get it dead right, so they're allowed longer.
Quiting's first vault 9.950, now to Onodi on the asymmetric bars. Gold medalist in this event at on the individual apparatus rather, in the European Championships. Lovely little full pirouette. Nice way of getting to the top bar. Ginger. Forward giant into Jaeger. Some wonderful work here, John.
Yes, it's the sheer volume of the moves she puts in. You see other people do them higher and longer, but what you were saying about not using A moves for linking, she just goes from one difficulty straight to another.
Well, that was beautiful. 10 moves or 11 are expected as a minimum in a bar routine, and there were 19 elements at least. Lovely hop change on the top into that forward giant, release for the Jaeger, drop straight to the bottom bar. That's the upstart.
Chen Quiting's second vault. She scored 9.95 for the first. It really is a sort of dainty little run. Trots along, big step back on that landing.
She really dare not run any faster. In my gym, I have to hire a bulldog to chase my gymnast down the runway.
On beam, Larissa Lowing from Canada. .9.912 on vault, 9.875 on A bars.
Aerial cartwheel into Corbett. Hard to combine a twist movement into a straight movement. Showing variety of her tumbles. Standing tuck back, again, first introduced by Corbett in '74, now only a B element. Simplest elements are A's and the most difficult are D's. And then you can have added bonus points. Big step back on the dismount, but safe and full of variety.
Miho Shinoda from Japan, first up on floor in this rotation.
Shinoda, greatly improved gymnast. She was only 35th in the '87 Worlds. And after the team championship was 17th.
Twists there.
Coach is Sukahara. He's a hard taskmaster. I noticed that if any of the gymnasts come off the floor and they haven't done very well, he never ever smiles. He was the innovator of the vault, Sukahara.
And the Japanese flags waving in the crowd. Onodi's A-bar score, 9.925. Larissa Lowing, 9.775 for that beam.
And Wendy Bruce to vault. 2 vaults for the girls. They can do the same or 2 different ones. must say that they sadly lack in variety, considering that there are some 60 vaults in the code of points. They've all opted for either the Yurchenko or the Sukahara. Now Christina Bontash.
She went so well in the first round, but fell back in the second, right down in 16th place. Gets through the catch of Adrian Goriak, the coach, standing in, but not necessary, thank goodness. And a double tuck-back finish, landed it nicely. A bit too much travel in it.
Yes, but clean. It's good to see the coaches being permitted onto the podium to shadow the gymnasts, because really it's not giving them any false security, but in the essence of safety, when they're producing skills of such difficulty, it really does protect them. Shinoda scored 9.837 on floor.
Wendy Bruce, 9.9 for the first vault. Here she goes on the second. It's the same one, and a bit short on that. You can see how she had to step forward. I don't think she'll improve.
Yes, really came in short there, dropped the chest and stepped forward.
Brandy Johnson onto beam.
She comes from Tallahassee in Florida and trains at Brown's gym, Brown's Academy. Her coach, Kevin and Rita, are on the floor with her. Brown's gym is in Orlando, right next to Disneyland. Slight hesitation there, just moved out of it nicely. Good. Got a good set of scores behind her. That should be another high score.
Well, the judges obviously saw something in Wendy Bruce's second vault that I didn't. They marked it up just a shade, 9.912. Karim Mermet from France onto the floor. Comes from Besançon, 15 years old, so this her first really big championship. She, apart from the Europeans last May, she competed in the Junior Europeans in 1988 in Avignon, and again that little bit of inexperience, overcooking the tumbling run.
Scoring leaps. Oh, a little twist of the ankle there. Always give themselves a little pause to take breath for the final run. Double back.
Well, quickly, Christina Bontash's uneven bar score 9.9. That won't pull her up enough. and Brandy Johnson's beam, 9.887.
Nice 1.5 twisting walk out into the double back, but stepping out of the area, losing hundredths of a point there.
Little Gabriela Potorak to vault. And again, the Yurchenko with full twist. I'm getting fed up with them.
Well, we know she can do a double twisting, Yurchenko, because she got a silver medal in Seoul for that. So I think she'll have to put a bit more effort in to get around in 2 twists, because that is a little bit of a lazy vault.
But maybe she'll go for it this time. No change, though, there in that tariff mark you could see. Kim Gwang-suk from North Korea. Oh.
And there's the new move that everybody's been waiting for. That was incredible. I mean, she did a Kachev and then came underneath as if she was going to do another Kachev. Extra swing, it's gone wrong. Spectacular stuff.
Giant with full pirouette and then the dismount. Now here's the new element, coming back up to the Kachev. Almost going to swing into it again, but then stops it and goes back round the other way. Magnificent. Mermet's floor 9.725, and Gabriela Potorak's first vault 9.912. Now will she put in another twist to get herself back into contention, perhaps? Now I could see the board which told us which vault she was going to do. It was still that same tariff number, so the same vault. Has gone a bit lazy, hasn't it? Do you think that's because she's grown a bit, Monica?
Yeah, she's probably outgrown her strength for a little while. She's just at that age, but she'll strengthen in the next year. But with the World Championships, they haven't been able to devote a lot of time to it.
Cho Gyong-hui from North Korea onto the beam. The gymnast has to put all those boos away from her. They're in fact, for the score that's been put up on the asymmetric bars for Kim Gwang-suk, 9.612 only, but what the crowd didn't know was that it went wrong in the middle. They didn't realize the significance of the extra swing. Monica Phelps, of course, did, and that's a 3/10 deduction, so about as high as she could possibly have got.
Nice combination. Whip back somersault, the last one, not a straight back. Shoulders leading the way into the somersault. Choi, a very elegant performer. Smashing. Knew where the floor was there.
Svetlana Boginskaya, third position after 2 rotations. Look at the look in her eyes. Very tall, 1.62 m. She'll get found in that full twisting back somersault easily.
Really is beautiful movement. It's the intricacy of her spins and jumps in between the tumbles that are high scoring too. Baginski has done very well to recover from the death of her coach in 1988. She then had to change coaches after being coached by the same lady for 6 years. There's the landing. Step back out of that double back wasn't illegal. Now that was a beautiful double pirouette at the end. Well, I think that's the most expressive thing that I've ever seen Baginski produce. Very, very dramatic and sensuous.
That extra height she has over most of the other girls does make her very, very elegant. The twisting run. Podorek scored 9.937 for her second vault, so that's the one that will count. And Choi Byung-hui, 9.85. And a 10 for Baginskaya. Well, I know, Monica, you think it was worth it.
Yes, I do. I hate injustice, and when she got a 10 on bars the other day, I didn't like it, but that was certainly worth the 10. Is Germany on vault with Bärbel Vilgos.
Olga Strajeva, who had taken the lead at the end of the second round. Asymmetric bars, her third piece.
Jan Stroll mounts, Shapeznikova into uprise. These are extremely difficult combinations.
Two 9.962s so far on floor and vault.
What a pity about that.
And that's the sort of thing that loses world championships. Now, what would you deduct for that, Monica?
Probably a tenth, I would think, at the most. Because at the very most. Because in the middle she had so many combinations far superior to anybody else that we've seen, that the dismount will be judged accordingly. And the dismount was a bonus dismount, full in, back out. She had her feet stretched all the way around. Beautiful form, just under rotated.
9.887, Vilgos's first vault. Very low in the landing there on that twisting Yurchenko. And the standard so high that Strajeva's landing at the end of the floor. 9.9 could still take her off the lead. Fendi onto beam.
And everybody's allowed to have a favourite gymnast, and this is mine.
Oh, forward roll. It looks so simple. I think quite a few of the crowd agree with you, Monica. Their great groan of disappointment as she fell from all around the arena. But that forward roll with no hands on beam, a very difficult move. She was up into fourth place halfway through. Not just the boldness with which she goes for her elements, but
She hardly ever looks at the beam. She assumes the beam is there. And the roll on which she fell off is only a B element. It's hardly worth anything.
Well, you read the Strajeva A-bars exactly right. 9.925 her score. That means that Boginski has gone ahead of her, as we see a dejected Van D leave the podium. Not as dejected, though, perhaps Van D leave the podium. Not as dejected, though, perhaps as Iveta Polakova. Nothing has gone right for her so far. 8.475, 9.25, and they're not scores you expect to see from the same gymnast in the top 36 final. Iveta Polakova, last she gets through an exercise with no major mistakes. That must make her feel better.
She is an experienced gymnast and got into finals of the World Championships back in '87. Losing her legs there on the triple twist, though, that was, into a punch front. Very difficult skill. Van Die's beam only scored 9.312 as the result of the fall.
Lashanova to vault. Oh, and that's how to explode a vault off the top of the horse. You can see the bit of extra that she gives it.
Yes, the quality of this vault is that she finishes the twist and squares up her body, her arms out to the side, totally finishes the twist and has time to line into the floor.
Little jump back, and now Daniela Silvash. Svetlana Boginskaya in the lead at the moment with 29.9. And if Silvash could score a 10, she'd be equal with her.
Well, when she scored a 10 in the last round, the move she's just done on the low bar wasn't as good as she's just done it. So I'm sure that has got to be a 10, because that was a better routine. She only had a slight hitch when she got the 10 in the team championships, but she had to shift along the bar. Very surreptitiously she moved.
Well, if it is a 10, it's going to follow another 10, because we've just seen Lashonova's mark come up. That vault that we thought so special, that was a 10 too. She's already got the 10.
Brilliant. Perfect. I don't like to use the term perfect when somebody scores 10 because they're fulfilling the rule book. But I really couldn't see a flaw in that vault.
Yes, the first one judged 10 for its sheer amplitude and everything else, even with a little step back on landing, and she got rid of the step back on this one. Onto beam, Sandy Woolsey. The boos all round the arena. 9.975 for Silvash this time.
Woolsey having to cut out the whistles and the jeers that the judges getting stick over Silivash's mark. But once on that beam, you have to only think of each skill as you perform it.
Interesting on that Silivash score, Monica. The head judge, Ludmila Teresheva, the great Russian gymnast of the 60s and 70s. And there was a great deal of shaking of head by her before that score went up.
I hate to accuse people of political influence, but one can't help but wonder when the other routine was that much better. Sandy went really well on that beam routine. Lacking in amplitude, the split's not wide enough and the leap's not high enough, but extremely solid.
Now, little young Bo. 9.9 on beam, and that combination that she performed there, to me, the highlight of the whole championship so far.
Full in, back out, piked, beautifully done as well. Stress point of the double spin over with, that's where Chen Qiting went wrong. He's trying to search for her name.
I have to say that her coaches might have chosen something a little bit neater just to support those ankles. Those bandages do nothing to actually increase the look of her line and her elegance. Lovely, chirpy routine, though, from her. Perfect sort of music and choreography to suit her character.
Yes, indeed. And the tumbles were magnificent. The technique so pure, arms straight, body in line.
Woolsey's beam score 9.775, just one rotation to go, and it's Svetlana Boginskaya who's now in the lead. 29.9 she scored. Daniela Silivash tucked in there in second place, just 0.025 behind her, and then the other two Russians, Leshonova, Strajeva, before we get the first Chinese girl, Chen Qiting. We'll take another break there, but we'll be back for the thrilling finale in just a short while. Welcome back as everything builds towards this final round. The gymnasts going through their practices, and let's just take a look at the pieces of apparatus, because it's vital to see where they are. The vault first, and Boginskaya, she's on that piece, leader of the competition. Monica?
Yes, and she's Olympic champion as well, so she could get a 10 quite easily and keep the lead.
On the A bars, the uneven bars, we've got little Leshonova, who's up into third place at the moment after her 10 on the vault.
Leshonova's brilliant all round, capable of getting a 10.
And onto beam, looking there, Daniela Silivash. Now, she's got to be word perfect on that piece. I think she won't mind having it coming up last in normal circumstances, but it's asking a lot of her to actually pull a 10 out on the beam, isn't it?
Oh, she's in a hopeless position. I mean, if she pulled it through, then she would be brilliant. But I believe that right now she'll be psychologically distressed. She would have expected a 10 for that routine, and I believe she was done out of it. And she is going to be distressed, and she's got to overcome. Look at the look on her face. Alarmed.
Well, all the gymnasts, very hard characters when it comes to shutting everything else out. Let's just have a look at the floor quickly. There it is, little Fan Di from China. Monica's favourite gymnast, goes on that. But really, on floor, none of the real contenders for the gold, silver and bronze at the moment. Silavash completing her preparations on beam.
Well, Silavash has been the bridesmaid so many times. She's got to give it her all. I know she's been a brilliant competitor. She won the World Championship on beam back in '85. She's well capable of doing it, but she's 19, more sensitive, more aware, knowing that she's probably coming to the end of her career. She's probably not thinking of retiring, but she's not going to improve much from now on. So she's in a very, very difficult psychological situation.
Karine Mermaid from France it is to kick off this round on the vault.
Mermaid had some good scores, 9.737 on A bars, but dropped beam to 9.25 with her fall, 9.725 on floor. Oh, a nice vault. Cracking little vault from Karine. Another look at it. It's the Yurchenko Arab Spring entry. Half a somersault onto the hands. Really tight and straight all the way around. Horse 120 centimetres high, and the landing area must at least be 12 centimetres deep.
Well, for those basketball fans who've just switched on expecting to see the McDonald's Open semi-final between Denver Nuggets and Barcelona, it'll be following this program, but we shall, of course, be staying with the gymnastics here in Stuttgart until we know who's the new women's world champion.
Wendy Bruce just putting the chalk on the bars.
Again, the delay on asymmetric bars because the warm-up and practice just takes that bit longer as each gymnast chalks the bar to their own liking before they even go into practice.
She's lucky that it didn't impede her swing as she clapped her ankle on the bar and the Jaeger. First few elements on the top bar were bent arm, but she's got into a better swing now.
Mermaid's vault, 9.937, that first one. And here we go with the second. Looks a very determined little character, 15-year-old. Protesting Yurchenko, held the position really well.
It's certainly a beautiful little vault. Well, not little. She's the little one. She got bags of height and length. Christina Bontash. Beam, her last piece. This mount, if it comes off, flick, flick, straight, straight. Good gracious me. Brilliant stuff.
And no sideways movement at all at the end of that. To keep that all in an absolute straight line, well, to stay on is miraculous. And then she does the pirouette and a little waver at the end of that. It's a cruel piece of apparatus.
It is indeed. Well, once you've got the momentum going on your tumbles, it's commitment. But a full pirouette, it's only worth a tenth, but it's a killer. Slight hesitation on the two-footed landing from the second salto.
So she's certainly attacking this piece. Let's hope Daniela Silavash is in the same frame of mind.
Nice jump combination. Change leg split leap into the jumps. One is a B, two are C's.
Bontesh. She's not 16 until December, so she's got a great future. Oh, and lands that wonderfully. Well, I just wonder whether Silavash doesn't look at that with a bit of envy and think, well, I wish and hope mine goes as well as that does.
I don't think Silavash's beam is as good, but he is that mount. First introduced by Maxi Genau. And then a second flick, then a salto to one leg, and then another somersault to one leg. And it's 16 feet long, and she knows exactly where the end of it is.
Brandy Johnson on floor.
Brandy's had a good competition. 9,937, 9,925, 9,887.
Yes, Brandy looking at getting into the top 10 if this goes well.
Good assist from the Valdez on the hands. Very powerful girl. Interspersed between the tumbles, she's had good leaps and jumps, good combinations, strong finish in the double back. No sign of tiring.
Brandy Johnson finishing on a high. And the quality of this competition is unbelievable, really. Mermaid's second vault, 9.975, and it deserved it. Wendy Bruce's A-bars, 9.687, and now Svetlana Boginskaya, she gets a 10 for this vault. That's it. No movement. That is the best landing. That is the best feet together I have ever seen from Boginskaya. She has this funny little quirk of putting one foot in front of the other, but will it gain a 10?
Well, certainly I agree with you. It's the best. That's lovely. Beautiful feet together all the way. Just a little slide in there, but the opposite side to the master judge. It'd be interesting to see who the master judge is. I think it's Nelly Kim.
And it's a 10. That is the new all-round world champion. Boginskaya has it.
And at the opposite side of the arena, Daniela Silavash and Gabriela Potarash waiting to finish their competition. Potarack on the A-bars. Psychologically defeated probably before she started.
Almost certainly a reaction, disappointment, and a little step backwards on landing. Nothing to go for now in her heart. Boginskaya, 2 10s in this final. The second vault, actually academic. And that second vault, not nearly as good. She went back to the little split that we're so used to, but she really did get it perfectly right on the first vault. A wave to the crowd. That's the new all-round individual world champion. And once again, the best that Silavash can hope for is silver.
Got to give it to Boginska. She really has competed magnificently. Absolutely magnificently today.
Reminder again to you basketball fans expecting to see the McDonald's Open semi-final. It will follow this gymnastics, but we are staying to the end.
Kim Gwang-suk from North Korea on beam. Second gymnast up. Another 3 to follow. This is the little puppet who had the wonderful new moves on the bars, but she put in an extra swing, and that's why her mark was so low. But because she kept moving, it didn't appear like an error. A mistake isn't just when you fall off the bars. It's when you swing around and do nothing as well. Aerial walkover.
Flick into the Corbett, and then nicely up into the handstand and the pirouette. Unusual combination and well put together.
And very difficult. She does have a little bit of an advantage, doesn't she? That beam must feel like a bit of a main road to her, and a tightrope to the bigger girls.
Round off, double tuck back, big step back on landing. But safely there. Potorak's A-bar score 9.4. Brandy Johnson 9.825 on the floor. Fandy. Sorry, not Fandy. Choi Guang-hui. Trying to stay in, but I'm afraid emphasizing the fact that she was out.
Really have made fantastic progress in gymnastics. We're 19th in the World Championships back in '87 and came right up to 6th position. After the competition, I saw the coach just sitting in a chair, weeping with delight. Such brilliant technicians. The technique has got to be right when somebody so light can do so many difficult tumbles.
Kim Gwang-suk on beam 9.85. Iveta Polikova on the vault runway. Coming off sideways, not twisting cleanly.
Cuervo, difficult vaults to initiate the twist accurately if you're not just right. It's the feet and the hips that turn the shoulders. Very, very late coming in, low in the twist.
Berbel Vilgos. Back somersault over the low bar to catch as her mount.
Stock move for these Germans. I think 3 of them use it. Double twisting back away. Clean, smart, nice variety. There are hardly enough adjectives to describe what we're seeing here today.
Polokova, 9.8 for that first vault. This little section of the competition, a little bit like the calm after the hurricane of Boginskaya and before the following storm, because now coming up, again, we've got the battle for silver and bronze, which is still very much on. Olga Strajeva goes to beam, and she's certainly in with a chance of a medal, in fourth position coming into this round, but she's within half a tenth of Silivash and Leshonova.
Strong move. Heely turn on beam. Sounds a bit painful too. Strajeva has a very strong physique. Most gymnasts choose to work barefooted on beam. Strajeva favouring shoes. Knew exactly where the end of the beam was. Could have missed it with the left foot, but her sixth sense told her, and she pulled it in beside the right. Up to the dismount. She's had a few hesitations. Can't really call them wobbles, but quite a few mini errors there.
We'll have to wait and see. Olga Strajeva, she's going to be in the position of sitting back and waiting. What a happy person Svetlana Boginskaya must be. She went up early in this round, and instead of sitting there waiting in agony whilst the other scores unfolded, she can sit there confident there's nothing they can do about it, because she put a 10 in and won the championship. Fandi now on the floor.
Problems there. Wonder she didn't crack her ankles. This is unfortunately why Fandi hasn't made it up to now, despite her beauty. She's not quite powerful enough on the tumbles.
But you won't see a more beautiful double twist than that.
She's got a fine physique, and she's only 16, so as she reaches maturity, she'll probably fill out and find a little bit more power. She went wrong, wasted length into the corner. She's missed something out, had a mental block, I think. She looked very vacant for a moment, did about 10 walking steps into the corner. I'm sure that wasn't part of the repertoire. She knows it.
Yeah, her face telling a story there, certainly. Bielgos got 9.9 for her A-bars, and Strajeva 9.925 for her beam. So she's got the long wait now to see whether Leshonova or Silivash do better. Young Bo's first vault. She held the landing, but she came off the top of the horse terribly low.
Funny little hurdle step, bringing the leg through, very bent. Beating the feet down. Trunk dropping right down. Not quite as stuck as it first appeared, but she dropped her chest very low. Bad body wobble on landing. Leshonova in the driving seat for a medal. Capable of getting a 10.
0.05 behind Silivash.
Much better piece to have last than Beam, though. Nice shapes on the Giants. Yes. Yes, she did the business there.
Knew exactly where the floor was, didn't she? Just really dropped on to the floor really lightly, and that shows how much she's in control. Look at that, stretching out. No question of having to readjust once she got there. Beautiful work from her.
Yang Bo's first vault, 9.962. More a body murmur than actual movement of the feet. Will she do better this time? Couldn't quite hold the landing.
Strange in a way, because she was much higher, much better vault, really. 9.775 for Fandi on floor. But this, Daniela Silivash, and she just had a look over before she jumped onto Beam, because she saw Lashonova had got a 10. That means she has to get a 10 to hold on to the silver medal.
Well, I'm not going to say anything. We'll just watch.
Two somersaults. She held the landing very well. Wasn't quite right, but refused to wobble. There it goes. That's it. No medal at all for Silivash. And that makes it a 1-2-3 for the USSR. Almost certainly. I don't think anybody can overtake Strajeva now. A little step forward, short on landing, and that is not a happy person.
Very, very sad indeed. There's the two. She just felt that she was off, and I think she was so despondent before she ever got it there. She didn't have the old Silivash fight, and while she's crying, the Russians are celebrating. Lashonova giving Boginskaya a nice big cuddle. She's a real sweetie, Lashonova. Lovely little personality, always happy-go-lucky. Sandy Wolseley from the USA. Sandy's had a good run of scores, started with an excellent vault, 9.95. 9.85 for A-bars, 9.775 on B. Good.
Sandy Wolseley from the USA finishing in style, but there's nothing anybody can do about the individual all-round championship now. It's decided, and the order: Svetlana Boginskaya has the gold medal, Natalia Lashonova the silver, and Olga Strajeva has the bronze. A 1-2-3 for the Russians. We'll be back, of course, tomorrow at 2 o'clock when the individual apparatus finals start. But for now, we're about to leave you and back to the basketball in London for those who've been waiting so long. But we'll be back with more gymnastics.